A British couple who were on board a yacht in the English Channel when a Russian warship fired shots have described the experience as a bit scary and totally unnecessary. Jane and Alan Kelvey came across the frigate 20 nautical miles south of the Isle of Wight yesterday. Sky's Mollie Malone has been speaking to them.
This Russian frigate and the British yacht were about 500 metres apart. The Ministry of Defence had said that the frigate, the Russian warship, had tried to contact the British yacht and then fired warning shots into the air in an attempt, the Ministry of Defence said, to avoid a collision. The Russians had said in their statement that the British couple on board the yacht had been, and I quote, on a dangerous approach, that flares and signals had been given before those warning shots were fired. I've just spoken to Jane Kelvey. She and her husband were on board that British yacht, and she said that the pair were experienced sailors. She said that they were au fait with the rules and regulations, and she said that they were sailing along what she called an obvious course. She said that the Russian ship did not send any radio signals, did not fire any flares, and instead the Russian ship, she said, simply did 5 blasts on the horn to basically say, have you seen us, have you noticed this Russian warship, at which point she says they changed course. Then she said came another 5 blasts, then came 4 or 5 gunshots. I should make it clear that no one suggested that those shots were fired directly at the yacht, and instead they were fired up in the air. But crucially, she said, any characterisation of them being an elderly couple that was struggling in foggy weather is, in her words, rubbish. She also said there was no danger of any collision. And she also said that she feels that the government statement that we've had overnight feels that she feels the government are trying to play down the situation in order not to escalate things, because of course, as we know, this comes against the backdrop of a rising threat from Russia as characterised by the government. People might remember at the weekend, just a few days ago, British forces seized a Russian tanker which was carrying 98,000 tonnes of oil. That was seized by British forces at the weekend, and the first time that we've seen that kind of action. Importantly, though, important to point out, the UK officials say these two incidents are not linked. So we know that there's been no injuries, no damage, but this really unusual situation arising. And I guess what it shows us a number of things, really. One, that Russian warships, it's fairly ordinary now to have them circling UK waters, and it also shows us, I guess, how unordinary these times are, how tense things are, and I guess how quickly it's possible for any potential miscalculation to happen and for misinformation to be spread and these situations to be misinterpreted.